This is the Portland Beer Club podcast.
Speaking of beer talk, sorry I waited, or I was a little bit late. I took the advantage to wash myself because I was filthy.
How were you so filthy? What were you doing?
I don't want to know.
Oh, I do.
I want to tell you, but in haiku.
Who remembers what a haiku is? What's the rules for a haiku?
575.
Yep.
575. God, you guys are smart. Somebody went to public school.
That would be all of us, I think.
Yeah, that'd be me. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Marcus, you and I even went to the same high school, so
Yeah, correct.
that makes it even worse. So I told Beef I think we're all drinking the same thing here.
We are.
Quite possibly.
All right, tell us what we're drinking, Marcus.
Well, we had a little get-together about a week and a half ago.
It was huge.
Biggest brewing event of the year. And yeah, we got together and brewed for the first time in, I don't know, when's the last time we did that?
I'm going to go out on a ladder and say maybe you two guys brewed and I sat in a chair. I really didn't contribute anything to that brew other than conversation.
Well, the two of you
Neither
brewed,
did I.
and I didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
No, but yeah. So we got together and did a brew day for a Northwest style IPA, and had a lot of fun. And this what we're drinking right now is the result, and it's too fresh. But I figured, hell, we're doing a recording. You know, if we drank this in a week or so, if I was at a professional brewery, I'd like to sit for like another week or so. But hell, why not have it for on the show, and we can enjoy a home brew. We haven't done that in a long time.
I will say right now, this is as good as any IPA I've drank this week.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Agreed.
You had 0 IPA this week.
I've had a shit ton of IPA this week. So, yeah.
It's good, but it'll get better. It definitely, I can, when I've like tasted IPAs in the past and talked to you guys about, you know, like, oh yeah, this is going to be a good one, I think, or whatever. It's like, I can tell this is what I'm tasting. Like, this is going to be a good one, but if you give this another week or so, it's going to get the sharp edges are going to round off. You're going to get a little more flavor profile coming out. But it's good the way it is now, I think.
Yeah.
So, cool.
Yeah, and I was even going to suggest that maybe we should just jump into our last topic on our list because you made what we were going to talk about. So.
That's why I put it there.
Good job.
I know.
Good job. It's like he's been podcasting his whole life.
Well, feels like it at this point. I mean, not like professionally, just
Yeah.
Definitely not.
mostly to myself. Did you guys ever, when you were young, just sit there and like act like you're like the announcer for some sort of a sports ball game, or ever talk to yourself when you have Star Wars figures and you're you're narrating the scene and what's going on, that kind of stuff? It's kind of like a
For sure.
podcast.
A little bit. I gave that ball game commentary a go. That's hard. Not easy.
Oh yeah. It's hard to fill the air and not sound like an idiot, and we do that every month. Sound like idiots.
Getting pretty good at
it. At least shit edits out all of our missteps.
Yeah.
Well, just the swear words. All those swears.
He takes all of our swear words and he makes them all sound like beef.
Yeah.
And then puts them back in.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, okay. Well, yeah. So go ahead, Sean.
Well, no. What were the hops on this again? I believe there's some mosaic in this, if I remember correctly.
So, I said I was going to stick to a known recipe, and I mostly did, but then I switched it out on brew day, which is something you should always do.
Yeah.
But it was to another plant.
I always do that when I go to the bathroom. Switch things
We've
out.
all been there.
Yeah.
Switch things out.
Yeah.
That's kind of dangerous, isn't it? Like, what if you're
Sure
low on toilet
is.
paper?
Especially when you start standing. Yeah.
Ah, yeah, that's true. Well, so you're that guy at the urinal, huh?
I can
Thanks.
be. I can be.
Yeah, it started out with this being a mosaic heavy with some Citra backing it up. And then on brew day, I decided to switch the two. So this is a Citra heavy Northwest style IPA with a little bit of mosaic in the background.
Okay.
So depending on which hop you like better would probably tell you which version of this IPA you'd like better. Everything else was the same.
Very good. That's delicious.
It's super fruity, but it's got some bitterness both at the beginning and the end, kind of all throughout. It's really
Yeah.
nice.
It's pretty dry
Really
too.
nice.
Like it's, which I'm pleased with. That's what
Hmm.
you want with this style. So, or at least I do.
But
So,
but still has some sweetness too,
oh yeah, yeah.
for
There's
sure.
definitely some sweetness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Well
so
done.
last month, Marcus had the idea that we should focus on a series each show, or focus on a genre. Or, God, I can't talk. Focus on a style of beer.
Let's focus on words and
Let's,
speaking.
let's
Two,
focus just
one.
on talk, on talk. Focusing on a style of beer each month. And we did stouts last month. Is that correct?
Yeah, we just did straight up like
Straight
our
stouts.
favorite
yeah.
style of straight stout. Yeah.
What makes a good stout? And so this month looks like somebody posted Northwest IPA edition. I'm guessing that's Marcus since he's in charge of this category, and
It
he
was.
happened to brew this beer. So let's talk about it. What is it about a Northwest IPA that makes you happy? What is it?
And I want to say, do we want to make the distinction between West Coast and Northwest? That's why I put Northwest because
Oh.
that's what this is.
Okay,
But-
make the distinction. Because
Okay.
I would have just gone West Coast, but let's do Northwest.
Because this is a West Coast. I mean, most people would say this is a West Coast IPA,
Mhm.
right? I mean, it's bitter,
Mhm.
it's dry, but it's got a lot of fruitiness to it. It doesn't has zero caramel malt.
Oh
It's-
yeah, that's definitely a key one.
yeah. And this
Yeah.
this doesn't even have pale malt in it. It has Pilsner malt. I use German Pilsner malt in this because
Wait a minute, kind of like the three-way Kolsch IPA.
I did it first. Damn it! I did not use Kolsch yeast though.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I don't because I like the super light color, and I don't want any additional malts. I want sweetness, some residual sweetness, but I don't want malt flavor in that sweetness.
Right.
And I feel
Agreed.
like the German Pilsner malt above the American Pilsner malt gives a little bit of more like biscuity sweetness, but it's not like caramel. You're shaking. You're laughing at me right now, Beef.
No,
Why?
no, I'm laughing at my cat who is yelling.
Oh,
I figured
okay.
I figured you could hear her. But no,
And
I
it's-
completely agree. And yeah, biscuity is a good way to put it.
Yeah, and it's like one of those flavors where I don't think you actually get it out of this, but it's one of those where you would notice it if it wasn't there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like that sweetness that you just talked about, a little bit of sweetness, even though this beer is friggin' dry. It finished at 1 Plato or 1.004
Dang,
OG, which or final gravity, which is super
That's-
low.
that's down there. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not like, yeah, like you said, it's still got a little sweetness to it. And I think that's because of that malt. But yeah, and then I just put in a few extra additional malts to give it some head retention, a little bit of body, and that's it. Like nothing else to it because I just wanted the hops to speak. And that's one of those main things I think about this style, right? Is you want the hops to be the show.
Right.
You want the malt to carry the flavor, but it should be the malt isn't something you really taste. You know?
Mhm. And it's typically a new hop, like Citra or newer. I feel
Yeah.
like too,
Oh,
right?
for Northwest, yeah.
Yeah.
hmm Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not going to be one of those damn Cascade versions.
Right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chad. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Well, I
Never
would
coming
say
back.
this beer falls right. It meets all the checks for me as far as what I look for in an IPA.
Mhm.
Yeah, give your top three. Go ahead.
My
I thought,
top three
Sean, this one
IPAs?
would. Well, no, top three like things
Oh.
about a Northwest style IPA that like are you
Well,
got to have.
I love hops, and so I want the hops to stay in my mouth after I swallow my
Yeah.
sip.
Yeah.
I like that piney, resiny, oftentimes
Mhm.
dank, thing that happens in your mouth when you drink a solid West Coast IPA. I like the crispness, especially IPAs definitely have to be cold, and so that crispy, sensation you get when it goes into your mouth, it cools you off. It feels good. It's the same reason I think people just drink beer in general. It's just that refreshing thing. IPA. I mean, I can drink IPA every day of the year, but in particular summertime when it's hot, it does what it needs to do. And and I think IPAs go really well with food. And if a good IPA will go really good with your meal. Obviously it's always going to depend on what you're eating sometimes, but so I don't necessarily look at beers the same way you do, Marcus, because you're more into the science of beer and I'm more into the
Oh yeah, that's why this is good.
the bigger the bigger outside window of brewing.
Experience, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good word.
Yeah, I hate the experience of it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I was saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I know a lot of people say, "Oh, IPAs are, they've come and gone," and like, no, they haven't. IPA is still the biggest
No.
selling craft beer out there. So, although maybe not now, Pilsners might have taken over. I don't know, but IPAs have been around forever. They've been popular forever. As long as there's been craft beer, IPAs have been. Well, maybe the later part of the '90s they started coming up, but I feel
like they also keep innovating.
Yeah,
and changing a little bit.
Yeah,
trying stuff new like brew and fruit.
Yeah, and even
fruit peels.
I'm not going to say I like it, but Brute and what's the other IPA I hate? The Brett. Oh. Yeah, Brett. But I mean, you can. There's so much experimentation you can do on an IPA, but as far as the West Coast stuff, they're just to me it is the perfect beer when it's done right. People who I think Barley Browns, Belmont or not Belmont, Breakside. Ex Novo, I think have all kind of nailed it. Even I had a delicious Vicious Mosquito from Sun River this past week.
Yeah,
it was really, really good. We were out at Flying Pie Pizza, and they had just run out of RPM, which is another good example. They just ran out of RPM, and I'm like, oh, I guess I'll have to get Vicious Mosquito. I'm like, God, I had 3 of them. It was so good. No complaints. And this is right there with it. Everything that I look for is right there. Beef.
It's a little more approachable than just a straight West Coast, like to me, because it doesn't have that caramel malt. It's not overpoweringly bitter, but I'm looking for a little bit of fruitiness, a little bit of sweetness, and just like crisp drinkability. That kind of does it for me. And yeah, let that new hop shine.
Yeah, I'm on board with you guys. I think the big thing, the big 3 but you guys have already mentioned, I think, is I want something I want something where the hops shine. The malt can be there, but it has to be something where you don't notice it. It's just carrying the hops.
Balances out the bitterness of the hops. Basically.
And malt doesn't mean caramel malt. It just means that residual sweetness, like you said, that makes the hops like stick on your tongue. It's not so dry. Like I've had IPAs where there's like no malt whatsoever. It's super dry. And it's kind of like there and gone, and it doesn't really stick around long, So it's like, okay, well, if I want a beer like that, I want like an American light lager, like it's there and gone, and on to the next sip. But with IPAs, I kind of want that to stick around a little bit and enjoy the flavors from it, the hops. So yeah, that.
Good point. Yeah.
Drinkability, yeah. So like crisp, cold and crisp is good. Don't want a lot of residual sweetness in this. If you have that, I think that kind of ruins it, and it turns the beer malty quickly too. If you have a lot of residual sweetness, which is why, like, I think double and triple IPAs, breweries that pull those off are doing a hell of a job, because that gets even harder and harder to
do. Very fine line.
Yeah, and the last thing is, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's anything we haven't mentioned. Maybe it's just the simplicity of it as well, because like this is 2 hops. Well, okay, there's a bittering hop here, but that doesn't really add much in the way of flavor. But it's like the simplicity of it. You can do something very simple but very flavorful with minimal ingredients. This has 3 malts in it. Basically, it's 1 malt, but a couple more to just give it body, like I said, and a little bit of head retention. And then there's 2 flavor addition malts. It's super simple. So if you execute it, it's a tough style to execute because you do have to baby it along and figure out how to treat it. But like it's so cool that you can make a really good beer with very few ingredients. So I think it like tells you, if you can execute one of these, like it tells you as a brewer, you're doing a good job, and you kind of know what you're doing and how to handle things. So that's kind of cool, maybe from the sciencey side of things.
Yep, we got our scientist on board.
What do you guys not like then when you have like a Northwest style IPA and you get like, what's one flavor profile you're like, nope,
sweet?
I
don't like sweet in my IPAs.
Yeah,
I just don't.
Or like single IPA. What about like triple?
Huh?
What about a triple IPA?
Well, that's a whole different ballgame.
Okay. We're talking about single IPAs
yeah, we're
here,
talking
right?
about yeah. When you get into the double and the triple, then obviously sweetness is going to kick in more. There's only a few breweries, in my opinion, that do that right. So they don't make it too sweet.
I would agree.
Yeah. There's
It's hard.
not a lot. I would much. It's always for me. It's always safer to order the single IPA than a double if I don't know what the double is. So
Yeah.
But triple IPAs, I'd say there's, I don't know, in my opinion, there's more good triple IPAs than bad triple IPAs. I don't know, there's something about when you get over that certain level that it's like, ooh, well, that's really nice. And I mean, I'm not saying they're great, but I don't know, if you were to compare the good and the bad between triples and doubles, I'd say there's a bit higher ratio of good triples than doubles.
Yeah.
Just overwhelms your palate so much, just wrecks it. So it's all just like over the top. So it's turn it up to 11.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's trash or good.
What was Palate Wrecker? Was that a double or a triple? Was that a double from Green Flash?
It was like 9 or 10. But I don't know
call
what
it a
they
double.
called it. Yeah.
That was always a good one.
I'm a little bit of a color bitch too.
Are you?
When it comes to Northwest, yeah, because if you look, when I look at an
Yeah.
IPA, a Northwest IPA, I'll immediately be able to tell you with probably 90% certainty whether or not I'm going to like it. Because if it has that tinge of, if it's too orangey, tinging on amber, it's like, I know what's in this.
Yep.
I know I'm not going to like it.
Yep.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And so I'm a little bit of a diva about it. If I see that color and I see an IPA, you know, I'll avoid it for sure if I see it in front, you know, and I don't know what it is.
When I was down in Florida, literally every IPA that came my way had that, and I'm just like, well, this isn't going to be fun.
Yeah.
But I drank it anyways, like a trooper.
Like a trooper.
Yeah. But it just, you know, I just knew it wasn't going to be anything that I was going to enjoy about an IPA.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's almost always got that, like you said, that sweetness, that malt, and that malt flavor to it. It's just like, oh, this is not doing it for me.
Right.
And yeah.
Bah. All right. Well, speaking of three ways and mixing things up, how are we liking the three-way Kolsch? Has anybody had? Well, have we? I know.
I'll tell you in a
Beef
little
has
bit.
had it, yeah.
Mm-mm.
You haven't had it, Beef?
I have not. No.
Oh wow.
I'm still working on the first on batch 1.
Okay, you're still on the hazy.
Yeah.
All right.
Actually,
well,
I think
let's put this one to the side, and I'll pour one on our break, and I'll go.
Well, it's probably going to be my next beer as well. So.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Beef's checking out already.
He's out of here. All right. We've been talking for 10 minutes. See you, Beef.
Well, we already talked about this other topic, the brew day. That was definitely a fun time, and you made us sausages, which was fantastic.
Yeah, what did you think about those?
Those are great, out? Man. You did the cold smoker, and so
that seemed to work out.
They didn't break out and dry up, and
I didn't bust my sausage.
Stayed nice and moist like a good wiener should.
Oh man, just burst in your mouth is when it burst.
Oh, look at Beef pulling in a green three-way.
Got batch 1. Yeah.
Pulling in a greenie.
Batch 1's always better.
Best.
We know that.
That's right.
Beef, we were just talking about the brew day and just the hanging out and Marcus making us those delicious sausages, and it was just good hanging with you guys, man. I haven't done that in
it's big
a
cheesy
while.
sausage.
I was trying to remember the last time we all got together for a brew day.
Oh God,
when was that?
I don't know if I've been with one. I think that's my first one with Sean.
Oh really?
Wow.
Yeah.
What did you think about Sean on a brew day? Tell me your thoughts.
Yeah, how did it work out for you?
Yeah, how'd it work out? What were your impressions?
What were your takeaways?
He'll never know.
There was a lot less bug smashing than what I expected.
Oh, wrong time of year.
Oh, well, yeah, the box elders weren't out, so.
Yeah, wrong time of year.
I think it's funny
that's a different looking beer than the last
one. A little bit.
I think it's really funny that Beef knows about the box elders and me smashing bugs.
Oh, we've talked about it a million times.
So I
very formative memory of mine.
That is something from my childhood that I wish I could get rid of, is this compulsion to squish bugs when I see them, especially box elders.
What happened in your childhood to make you want to do that?
I was the Godzilla to bugs. If I saw a bug, I went after him, and just squish him. I'd lift up all my mom's planters and just squish everything in sight. My karma is going to kill me someday It's
You're
gonna
going to die because of a bug.
It's gonna be a big dinosaur bug is gonna chase me down and squish me. So
You're gonna swallow one and choke on it or something dumb like that.
get a fly up the nose and just choke on it.
You're gonna be the next. You're gonna be the first death in the next Starship Trooper movies.
Starship Troopers 14.
Yeah.
If only I get a naked shower scene first.
Well, all right. Jim, you got to shower with him.
That's all you want.
Still tasty. Sure. Yeah, whatever.
I'll take one for the team.
Well, I'll bet it's still good. I mean, what is it? A month old?
Yeah, just under.
And good
Just
call
over?
drinking. Good call drinking the Northwest IPA first before the hazy, because that's probably gonna screw up your palate.
It's super sweet. I shouldn't say super sweet, but it's not bitter.
Yeah, that's what I remember about that.
That's
It was
what-
actually.
That's what I like about yours compared to I feel like a lot of other IPAs. Is yours has a little more bitterness, just a little more.
The hazies that I make, or
Yeah, and just in general too.
oh yeah,
I feel. Ooh, a purple
I feel like
can.
it balances it out a little bit. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a little too sweet.
because otherwise the drinkability for hazies for me is not high. Even the really well made ones I don't want to drink. I mean, not that I'm going to sit there. Well, on a brew day, I mean, we'll crush a whole bunch of beers, right? Because we have a bunch of time
Mm-hmm.
and we're irresponsible. So it's like,
I had a listener. I noticed that one of our listeners left us a message telling us that we are funny.
what?
Yeah, we are.
I feel so bad for them.
Boy. Oh,
Who do we need? Who do we need to send to a psychologist? Who is this? We can help them. That was a cry for help, is what I'm saying.
I don't think it's. I think it's a lost cause.
Pretty
It's a
sure.
Lost cause.
They're already a listener of ours. It's a lost cause.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Nothing
Yeah.
can cure that.
We are their therapy.
Oh,
You're welcome,
God.
America,
I was just
don't you
listening
dare
to.
put that on me.
or Russia, or wherever this listener is.
I was just listening to Conan O'Brien's podcast, and he had Sharon Horgan she's from Ireland, really funny actress and writer, and he was telling her how he was told one time that a therapist can work on anybody but the Irish. You can't fix the Irish.
Mm.
Yeah, that just kind of came to me. We were talking about crazy, so I don't know.
All that potato starch.
I thought it was only whiskey that can fix the Irish.
Did any of you guys do Ancestry or any of those other CIA tracking devices?
I've been to Ancestry Brewing.
No. The thing where you
Oh.
spit on a card and they send it in, they tell you where you're from.
You spit on a card?
Mhm.
You swab your mouth and send it in, and the FBI puts you in their database. And
I didn't spit on
It's
the card.
not. It's not the FBI. It's worse than that. It's Blackstone.
Blackstone.
It's an investment firm. No, I'm not fucking kidding.
You think it's them?
It is 1,000%.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't doubt you at all. I'm sure
Yeah, they own like half of the
property in the world.
property. Yeah, exactly. Thank
Yeah.
you.
No,
Yeah, real estate.
The first
No,
time I
we
heard of it,
don't. Oops.
the first time I heard about spitting on a thing and giving people your DNA voluntarily, I'm like, well, this is obviously being tracked by somebody who's just disguising it as a fun little thing to do on your computer. But I do find it fascinating, and I have nothing to hide. So
I thought that's called your first kiss.
what's that? Spit on
Swapping
it.
spit and giving someone your DNA voluntarily.
But are they from Blackstone?
Is that considered
Yeah,
funny?
but
Let's ask.
And do they put it into
How
a
are they gonna
database?
profit off of this, Marcus? How are they going to profit off of my data?
Off of your data?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not going to happen. Blackstone doesn't care about you,
They
Or
just want
me.
your house.
and certainly not this podcast.
Well, we're about to find out.
We are. Hashtag Blackstone in this one, Sean. Okay.
Yeah. Well, so just after Beef poured his green can of three-way, I poured my purple can of three-way IPA, and
Purple
drinking
Drink.
this, it's still really good. But drinking this following Marcus's IPA, it's shifted
Oh.
everything. It's still
Uh-oh,
good.
is that bad?
No, nope. But it's
Oh,
just
okay.
it's just different. It's not as crispy and fresh.
All right.
When you drink
Let me
these
go
on your
grab
own.
that can of it, and I'll side by side it.
Oh yeah.
Be right back.
That'll be
Do
good. That'll be good. I
We're
got
talking 15 minutes and he gets up. God.
Beef. I thought you had something because I would have handed Marcus another one
That's
to
all
take
right.
over to your house. Yeah, it's just I love this beer. It's different. You can definitely get that Kolsch yeast factor on it. and it's unique. And this falls under all the stuff we just talked about with IPAs and what we like about them. It's definitely not as clear as a West Coast, but they're calling it a West Coast.
But it's still nice and light. And
yeah.
There's some leeway. You can go there with the amount of haze you're allowed in a beer these days.
Right. Yeah. I just remember the first time. The one time we actually went to Fort George for the 3-way release, and Marcus, what's his name? The owner at Fort George that we met. Jack. Yeah, and how he would not drink the 3-way out of a can or out of a glass because he said, I can't look at a beer that isn't clear.
Right.
An IPA.
Right.
IPA.
That's right.
Because it was their first hazy that we went for, and this is kind of that neutral zone where it's not hazy, it's not clear, it's. I guess if it's not clear, it's hazy, but it's a light hazy. So
just gonna look and see if they actually say anything about this. I think you have to go to their website to look at. Yeah, they don't talk about the recipe on here.
And again, it's.
the colors are similar. I think they don't. I mean, they're definitely not using crystal malt. But yeah, that's definitely more hazy. And mine's only in the keg. It'll get a clearer than this.
We're doing visuals here for the listener.
Yeah, I know. We're doing. Sorry. Maybe I'll do this for the show picture. No, I'm not going to finish. I'm going to finish this. But yeah, it's definitely murkier, but it's not like a true hazy.
No.
It looks a little bit darker in SRM too, right?
It's a little darker.
Just a little, just a tad.
And
I'm also at the stem. Let's see if I can do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's the Kolsch.
There's light shining through the other one. That's not shining through that. Running out of time already. Good Lord.
So yeah, it's definitely a murkier beer. It's a little less bright. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. I forgot what I was gonna say. That's okay.
Oh wow, that smells very different. But I mean the hops they use in this are way different than what I use too. But it smells bready to me.
Wait till you get that Kolsch yeast in your mouth.
Well,
you're talking about your mouth too much. Shit, way too much.
Okay.
Too much mouth shit. Shit.
I thought you said you were talking about your mom too much.
But why don't you go spit your DNA on something?
Out your mouth.
Out your mouth. What do you think of that?
It's good. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's very different.
Now
that's definitely not a Northwest style IPA. It's less bitter, much less bitter.
But is it a West Coast IPA?
Well, I think we called it a West Coast IPA, didn't we?
West Kolsch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kolsch.
Yeah.
Citra, Cascade, and Riwaka.
Cascade. What the fuck? Do these guys know how to make an IPA or what? Come on.
Bursts of berry, fresh cut grass, and lingering warmth. Not unlike afternoon nap in the sun.
There you go.
The Riwaka is actually what I really get on the nose. There's a very...
Simcoe too, they say.
And again, we're talking
it's
about...
good. I like it. This is definitely solid.
Fort George, Cellar Maker, and Anchorage? Is that the three on this one? Without looking at the can?
Yeah, I think you're right. Anchorage.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. So, and then the malts are there's Pilsner, rye, flaked wheat, and acidulated.
Acidulated. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that with the flaked wheat. I'm surprised they have flaked wheat in it, but whatever.
Give it some body.
I mean, that's why you're getting more residual haze probably is from that flaked wheat.
That's what I meant.
So what was interesting on both these 3-ways this year is, and I think I've talked to you guys about this off the mic, but normally when I get a 3-way, I've always had to roll my can to get some of that sediment out of the bottom because that's where a lot of the flavor was. There was no sediment in either can this year from what I saw. I don't know if you guys got any. No, I didn't get any sediment from either one of them.
There's a warning about it on the can.
Is there?
Yeah, it says it's unfiltered. Expect sediment at the bottom of the can.
Nothing, because I wash my cans out, and there's always sediment that comes out with them if I don't roll them, and no sediment has come out of my
This
cans.
Is definitely a softer version of a West Coast or Northwest IPA. Like the bitterness is definitely a solid couple steps below our IPA.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's our IPA.
We were present when it happened.
Why not?
It's got a ton of flavor. It's got a ton of hop flavor, but it's also more pillowy. It's a little sweeter.
Pillowy
it's
is a good word. Yeah, which then is not going to make it crisp.
So
it's not crisp. No.
What's the third release going to be? There's 3 IPAs from 3-way this year. So what's the third one supposed to be?
Amber.
One of our listeners commented,
cold IPA.
I can't remember. One of our listeners
or a different yeast, maybe because they did did they keep everything the same and just change the yeast?
No.
Okay.
The hops are different in the hazy. Citra, HBC 586, Crosby Comet, CGX, and Simcoe.
That's totally different. Yeah.
They must use Simcoe as the bittering. And then the malt is 2-row pills, flaked wheat, and acidulated.
Okay, that's the same thing.
And yeast is London Tropics.
Yeah, it's gonna be different.
Which is that hazy British yeast, right?
Well, what other yeast would they use? They could do a true West Coast yeast like a Chico strain and make a crystal clear IPA version of this, like a true West Coast. I could see them doing that without much change. And it would be a different beer and remove the flaked wheat. I'd put something else in there.
Would that be like a Pac-Man 05? It's
like a Chico strain. Pack could be, yeah, something like that.
Kind of like what Deschutes does. It's like, here's our yeast. Eat it.
I mean, they might use, maybe they'll use Fort George's house yeast like they do for Vortex. I don't know. I don't know what their house yeast is, but
it's a pretty gross phrase.
I mean, the one that I did is a Chico. It's a flagship from Imperial. It's a Chico strain. It's very Cal Ale, straightforward, clean, standard West Coast Northwest style IPA yeast. Get it really dry.
Mm-hmm. Boy, we had a message from somebody who gave me all the details on all three of the three ways. Now I can't find it.
On the Twa way.
No, you find it. We'll wait.
Oh, damn it! You know what I am getting a lot of is people missing Chad.
I bet.
We're getting a lot of messages about people. Hey, where's Chad, man? Where's Chad coming back? And it's like, I don't know. He's doing family life right now. Door's always open. So can't blame him. Can't blame. He's a busy
sure he'll
man.
be back.
Yeah.
His son's in baseball, and he's helping out with the team, so he's busy a lot of nights.
This kid's just getting to that age where you got to be more present. So yeah, I totally get it.
Do you? I mean,
my dad wasn't. Look what happened.
He's probably watching tape of the other team at this point.
He's probably
he's like a head coach. He's probably watching tape. He's probably grinding tape right now.
Yeah, screaming at his kid.
If by grinding tape you mean playing the new Zelda game on his Switch, then yes.
Don't hit the T.
Oh, you know he's gonna have a dip habit when he comes back.
But you know he's wearing a cup, and he's wearing a cup, and he's grabbing his crotch constantly.
Yeah, just like doing all the baseball.
Oh yeah, he's doing
signs.
all the signs.
Yeah, just practicing randomly.
Are baseball coaches the only coaches that actually wear the uniform on the field? Like they're gonna come out and do something?
Wouldn't you want to see Bill Belichick in a
I think more coaches should wear the uniforms. I think you're right. I think that's what you're saying, Sean. They should.
I want to see a hockey coach just standing back there with skates on and all his pads and ready to go.
Yeah. I mean, who didn't want to see Stan Van Gundy in a tank top, right? Come on.
Yes. Thank you. I couldn't think of a good b-ball coach.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Man, has anybody ever
Jeremy of basketball coaches?
Is there an explanation of that? Why baseball coaches do that? I guess they're called managers. They're not called coaches. But is there an explanation as to why they do that? God, see if we had
some sort of history. We've been doing it this way for
maybe they used to be
years.
Maybe they used to be player coaches back in the day. They're just stuck.
I have no idea. You know who would know this?
Chad
would know.
Chad. Nooner.
We'll save that one for him. Sorry. And yeah. Anyways, sorry, Jason, when he does come back, because we're gonna ask him.
Yeah.
Can I phone a friend?
Oh my God! I just realized I haven't showered today. I'm looking at my shirt, going, "Wait a minute! I wore."
Didn't you work and go into work today?
No, I was a remote worker today. So.
Oh yeah, well, that explains the no showering.
I've not left the house. I've not left the house, but I was gonna run and pick up some more beers for the show. Then I realized, oh wait, no, I've got enough beers for tonight, so I didn't go. Oh, I should go up and hit the shower. And then I thought, oh no, you should go out and start building that frame for your fence before you go shower. And then I did that, but then I got distracted with work, and yeah. So I just haven't showered. I haven't even told Carrie I haven't showered yet.
And then he was spatchcocking chicken.
Yep. Maybe I'll shower before I go to bed.
Yeah.
I'm going to text her right now.
Sean hasn't showered.
Did you know your husband is not showered yet?
Text Chad and tell him that. Did you know that Sean hasn't showered yet?
Great beer talk,
well, I
guys.
am not.
Yeah, we're killing it.
Let's see. As the clock's winding
This is
down
still
here.
on the rails.
Clock's winding down, so I'm not
Well,
going to get into our game yet, but I will say a big happy 25th birthday to Barley Browns.
25? Damn.
I
Wow.
didn't know they existed 25 years ago. That's crazy.
When did you learn about Barley Browns? How long ago?
10 to 15 years ago.
2015.
Yeah.
10 to 15,
Yeah.
you know, when Pallet Jack was
And they've
hitting.
pretty much stayed the same size like the whole time, I think.
Do you think? You
Haven't
don't
they?
think they're putting out more beer now that they're a little more popular?
Oh, I'm sure they're putting out more, but they haven't expanded and like there's not another Barley Browns facility somewhere.
Well, but
that
do
I'm
they
aware
brew
of.
on site? I don't know. I don't know anything
Yeah.
about them.
Yeah, they brew in
Everything's
Baker
brewed on
City.
site. But I mean, right at the place where they've always brewed, or did they get?
Yeah, I think they have the pub and the brewery. Yeah, I think so.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, I'm not 100% sure of that, but I think it's something
Yeah.
like that.
I have no idea.
What do you? Well, one of us has been there.
Ooh,
Mm.
he's not saying a word.
I don't know. It looked pretty new, the building they were in. Well,
Did it? Okay.
Okay, no. The building didn't look new, but maybe like the back half of the building was new. So like maybe they
They took over some extra
Yeah,
space or something.
or instead of having like so
continue.
it looks like the back half of the building, like maybe they either added on or like took something out and put in like 30-foot ceilings where you could put in, 20-foot tall
Fermenters.
fermenters. Thank you. God,
Mm-hmm.
the
Gotcha.
word was not coming.
Okay.
Are you ever going to make another day trip there, and will you invite Sean if you do? And Sean, can you do a day trip to Baker City?
Am I a dog?
No, I just mean, can you sit in a car for that long and
Oh.
go there and back?
Right now, no. In the future, yes.
Okay.
And it's on my bucket list. That's one of my bucket list breweries. So, that's
Noise.
wait,
Got
that's
a
the
couple more
level.
of these bad boys.
What was that called again?
This is called Steamed Hams Lager.
From level.
And again, this would be another Nooner special if he were here. This is a Simpsons reference beer.
Yep.
The entire thing.
You guys could
This
just go
is
back and
reference.
forth on your Simpsons jokes.
That's the main
And-
reason why you miss Chad, isn't it?
No,
Yeah.
it's
It is.
the baseball and
It's
the
his-
beard.
It's his witty banner about how great of a brewery he is and who he's brewed with lately. That's why I miss him.
God, how many years has it been since he's brewed with a brewery?
It's been a long time.
Oh man,
Probably
Ah.
like 4 or 5 years,
At
maybe.
least, yeah.
since I've been on the show, that's for sure.
Wow.
Has he not brewed with anyone since you've been on the show?
I don't think so.
Wow.
No,
You
Well, the last
killed
one
it,
was
Beef.
Ex Novo, right? That was a.
I killed it.
Oh boy.
You know,
Fucker.
yeah, I was all set to brew with Cantillon, and then Beef joined the show. Huh. Put that together.
It's all paid for and everything.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I came up with a little game just because I missed our trivia days.
All right.
So
All right.
and this could be really dumb, and if it's dumb, to say, "Hey, man, this isn't working out. This is dumb," and it's actually going to touch on some of our trivia because.
Wait, are you saying we're going to do trivia about the answers
not-
we
no,
had
no,
doing
I'm sorry.
trivia from
Not-
previous shows?
I not trivia our top 6 lists that we used to do. Sorry, top 4,
okay.
6. They varied. So basically, I'm going to ask you I'm going to give you a bunch of categories, and the topic is, what's your favorite to drink while doing that topic?
Mm.
So you can say a style, or you can say a specific, brand or whatever. So we'll just kind of go around the table for each topic, and there's nothing deep here because there's not a lot of depth to drinking beer.
No, we can do that. We can definitely get deep here.
I can get
Okay.
too fucking soon, Sean.
Wait, what I did and what I missed?
I agree.
Is
I agree.
this a Titanic submarine
Oh,
reference?
God, no, but,
too fucking soon.
No, I'm not even going to touch on that. So, what's your favorite beer to drink while in a
What
submersible?
the Titanic sunk 100 years ago? What are you talking about? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Go. Sorry.
Favorite beer to drink while in a submersible? No. Okay. So, what is your favorite beer to drink while at a live
Pop
sporting
implosion?
event?
Oh.
A live sporting event. We'll start with Beef up in the upper left corner.
In the lower middle corner.
A lager.
Lager.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whether it's hot or cold.
Yeah. Farkas.
Yeah.
I want to say IPA, but I'm going to go lager too, because every
Right?
time I get a lager or an
Right?
IPA at a sporting event, it's like coming out of warm tap lines, or it's been sitting for who knows how long. I mean, yeah, every time I have every time I have an
Good
IPA at a
point.
sporting event, it's bad. So I'm going to go lager because
And
it's
it's
safe.
and it's always a
I didn't even think
multi
of that.
IPA too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking like by the time I finish it in, 30 minutes or whatever, it's warm and hot, and like I don't want to finish the last third.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Why are you drinking so slow?
My bad.
Yeah,
Because goddamn college football games are 5 hours long. That's why.
that's a good point.
favorite beer to drink while
Wait, Sean, what about you?
Oh, IPA.
Okay.
Ah,
Wait, is your answer going to be IPA to everything?
No.
Okay.
Not everything.
all but one.
There's going to be barrel-aged stouts in here somewhere.
Right.
What's your favorite beer to drink while watching sports on TV?
Okay, I got a different answer for this one.
Yeah, I do too. I just like something interesting. Something big and complex.
God, you're so damn specific. Could you be a little more generic, please?
Whether it's a sour or a big stout, just like something that I can sip on and take my time and enjoy.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, because I'm not above pausing live sports, going back, rewatching something, and then catching up. Like
For sure.
so.
Yep. Farkas?
I'm going to say, especially, I enjoy watching sports with other people, with friends. And so I was going to say similar things, like opening up something special, like a barrel-aged stout or a barrel-aged barley wine, which I do like those, and they're just way better to share those than they are to drink by yourself, or a special sour or something like that, where we can all like sit around and enjoy it. I'm going to say barrel-aged, like a barrel-aged spirit, barrel-aged stout or something, just because you can let that sit for a while too and come back to it later. So something like that.
Yeah. I would so if I'm with friends, I'd say something barrel aged. If I'm with just me and Carrie, I would say something hazy because she'll want to share a beer, and she likes the hazies. Also, she's getting into West Coast more all of a sudden. And if it's by myself, a West Coast.
Does she like that West Kolsch?
Yeah, she liked it.
Did she?
Yep, she
I
did.
can see that because it's kind of a mix between
Right.
hazy and
Yeah. That in betweener.
Yeah.
Favorite beer to drink while brewing beer,
Well, it's been a while since I brewed beer.
or
I've
at a
actually
brewing
brewed beer.
experience. We should say.
I don't know. I probably either something light or no, I'm just gonna go something light.
Yeah, probably a
Whether-
lager.
Light, like
session beer.
under 6% or under 6.5%.
Okay, Farkas.
Because
I think
it's a long day.
Yeah,
It's a long
yeah,
day.
it is a long
got to
day.
drive home.
Hmm.
Well,
So
except for Marcus.
One of us had to.
Maybe. Yeah, but I still had to clean afterwards. So,
You'll get that finger
That
back.
too.
It'll grow back.
did you say that figure?
Finger.
Oh, finger.
By the way, I just went and watched my brother play drums this weekend. He's in the Dry County Crooks now, and they had a EP release, kind of an EP release party at a car show.
Oh, nice.
And it's the first time I've seen him play with his 9 fingers after he cut his finger off this last summer. So, and he killed it. He absolutely killed it. So, good job,
Killed the
brother.
finger?
No, well, the finger's gone, but yeah, he just a little finger readjustment on the sticks, and he's right back at it. So,
Nice.
It wasn't a thumb then.
nope, was not the thumb. It was his
Okay.
left pointer finger. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a big one.
yeah.
Well, it's one of the bigger
Well, it
ones.
wasn't that big of a finger, but it was a normal size finger.
It's a widely used one.
That it is, especially when you're a musician. But yeah, Marcus.
Sidebar real quick. I enjoy this West Kolsch IPA more if I don't smell it. The smell from like the yeast is
Throwing
it kind of bugs me a little bit.
A little cheesy.
For me it's almost a little bit burnt. Some sort of burnt thing to it. Like it's an off.
on the finish, but I like that. On
Oh,
this
you
beer.
like that?
I do
okay,
like
that's
it.
bugging me a little bit.
Yeah, it's not smoky. It's burnt. And
No, it's not smoky.
And
no.
I'm that guy
why I was
who
like,
hey, you just pulled that out of the oven, give me the burnt end. So I like burnt flavor. I like that overdoneness flavor sometimes. I don't like a well done steak, but I like the little slices right at the edge of the steak where it got the most cooked.
It's or like a smash burger.
Yes.
You probably love yourself a smash burger.
Love smash burgers.
I've still never had a smash burger in my life.
Oh my God, Marcus,
Do
own
it.
it. It's so good.
Oh, I know. I just haven't.
Unfortunately, you can't do those on a Traeger. So
for me, no, you can't. you can barely do a spatchcock chicken. It takes a while.
Yeah, and they go back to their original form while they're on there.
For me, the burnt is a little. It's not quite edging. It's edging towards burnt rubber.
Oh wow!
It's not like that nice burnt. Like I know what you're talking about.
And is that minimizing as you're drinking it more and getting the last beer off your palate?
Well, I just went back to it after finishing my IPA, and I was like, oh, I'm getting a little bit of this, so maybe it'll go away with a couple more sips.
Yeah, because when I first dug into it after your beer, it was way different. Now I'm right back to the point where I liked it. So,
second sip's better. Still a little bit on the finish. Sure, yeah, definitely on the finish.
Yep.
Anyways, all right.
Brewing.
Favorite
beer to drink while brewing.
I like to drink since I brew. I like to drink a beer that is representative of the style that I'm brewing.
Oh, look
like
at
what
you.
I'm trying to brew.
Look at that smart answer.
That's something. Yeah, it's so smart.
Look at the big brain on Brad.
It's a fun answer. It's a fun answer.
No, that's a good answer.
It's kind of a fun thing to add to the brew day. Yeah, it's like, oh, hey, if I'm drinking, like I knew you guys were gonna bring some West Coast IPA, and I think I had a couple as well. I was like, yeah, I want to drink something that's in that style. When I've done a sour, or like when Chad and I have gotten together and done our Ram Shack collabs, and it's a mixed culture. We'll drink a mixed culture beer of some sort, or a grisette or whatever, and we'll do that for fun.
It's kind of like when you're going to a Judas Priest concert and you put Priest on your CD player before you get there.
It's exactly like that, man. It's the best.
And my answer is going to be IPA.
With pickle brine.
Oh my God! Remember that?
We haven't done that in
that was
5
so
years.
Good.
6 years, 7, 8 years.
Beef, you might not know about this. We were brewing with Marcus and Matthias, and they brought their grandma's famous pickles up, and then we ran out of pickles, and we just had pickle brine. So I was sitting there kind of half drunk and poured the pickle brine into my IPA, and it was delicious. It was delicious.
It was even better. It was even better.
I did hear about that.
I had a Goza on tap. It was even better in that.
Oh, that's right.
I'm a little jealous. That sounds good.
The pickle brine Goza was actually pretty fantastic.
Yeah,
I do have some Vlasics in the fridge.
It was a spicy pickle brine,
spicy.
So there was a nice little kick to it as well.
Yeah. Grandma spicy pickle brine. Yeah. It was really good. Okay. Favorite beer to drink while cooking? Got some silence.
Depends on what I'm cooking, I think.
Yeah.
Generally, I'm just gonna go with a lager.
Yeah.
Yeah, something light like Session Cerveza, Freem Pills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want something low ABV, so it could be that, or I'm gonna go just to be different. I'll say like a low ABV sour beer of some sort.
Okay. I'm gonna get
pretty easy, pretty crushable. Like a Goza or something like that.
I'm going to get real specific because between now and the next show, I will have been to Cabo and back. And every time we go down there, we always have a grill, and we head to the Costco, and we get a big picanha steak. And I go out and grill that steak outside, and I'm drinking a Pacifico while I'm cooking that. And that is my favorite moment of cooking, is drinking a good Mexican lager while cooking a Mexican steak in Mexico.
It's interesting. Because we all kind of said similar things. It's like low ABV, easy drinking, something while you're cooking. Yeah, where you're not really thinking about the beer too much.
Right.
You're just enjoying the crispness, and you're like concentrating on other things.
Something kind of mindless.
And you're not getting shit-faced.
Right. Yeah. All right, next one. Favorite beer to drink while watching a movie or TV show? Which I know, Marcus, you're going to struggle on this one.
How about playing video games, too? Can we add that in?
That's coming up.
That's a different...
That's a whole different category. Well, because playing games and watching something are very different. One's mindless where you just sit there. The other one, you're involved.
I would say, yeah,
I have a lot of editing to do tomorrow.
yeah, what a 3, 2, 1.
I'll be
I would
specific.
Go.
Go ahead.
Electric
Go ahead,
Jellyfish
Marcus.
from Pint House Pizza, because it's the only beer I've ever drank while watching a movie in a theater.
Wow.
That's true. I
Good
think that's true.
pull.
There you go.
Good pull.
I've been to it's down in Austin, is where it's available, and at the Alamo Drafthouse Theater chain,
right.
local chain, they'll do a bunch of movies. I've gone there with my buddy a number of times, and we'll have a picture with Roy. Bro, that's what I call him. I'm like, hey, Roy, you want to go get some electric jellyfish? Alamo Drafthouse. And he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Are you having a stroke?
Did they not like depressurize the cabin on your way down?
Yeah, let's go back to that.
Or pressurize, not depressurize. You want to pressurize. We're gonna kill everybody on this flight.
Did you come here in a submersible?
We all live in a yellow submarine.
Let's keep up with the submarine jokes.
I know.
Those are gonna get well.
Never gonna get old.
Yeah. So, anyways, It's just a good haze. It's a solid hazy that's produced in Austin, and that's what we would always get like a picture of or whatever. And
Marcus,
share it,
have you
so.
never been to any of the numerous amounts of second-run theaters in Portland that usually have tons of beer on tap?
Or first run theaters.
Oh, I guess they're first run now. Yeah, they did
I have,
digital conversion.
Well, it's shit beer though. It's
generally
Ninkasi is the best thing you're gonna get.
Yeah.
There.
Well, you can get RPM at some places.
Old ass Ninkasi.
Yeah, or McMenamins.
Well,
McMenamins has lots of theaters.
I should say I'm out in the big box stores out here. I'm not going to like living room theater or whatever downtown.
Right.
But I'm sure those have better options.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to them, but I've never actually ordered alcohol there because the prices were like they just hurt me on the inside. So,
fair.
What was the one theater over there in Tigard by Washington Square? Now it's a regular movie theater, but they were like one of the first theaters to have the cushy couch seatings with the, where you put your feet up and had food. Marcus, I know you and Rebecca went there. It was right across from Big Al's Bowling Center.
Oh, Progress Ridge, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. That was Cinetopia.
Cinetopia, yeah.
Yeah.
They had decent beer there, didn't they?
They had RPM there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
was like $12 a pint.
Oh,
or something.
I know. It was ridiculous.
I wouldn't do it.
No.
Yeah.
I've paid more for less shittier
quality
beer. For less volume.
So has Sean. Sean bought Joe IPA before the Ghost concert at the Rose Garden, and I think he paid $14 or $15 for. I can't remember, something like that.
It was
for a 12-ounce can.
Wasn't even a can.
No, it was a draft pour.
Oh, it was a draft.
It was a cup.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was the worst. It was one of the worst IPAs
that was
ever.
Horrible.
I did not order one. I'm like, I'm going to see what Sean's tastes like first.
What'd you end up
and
getting?
I'm like, nope. I didn't get anything.
You didn't drink any beer.
That was the only option that was close to anything good.
You were just going for the secondhand smoke inside the auditorium.
Yeah, I was already high by that point.
Just from walking around.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna go with a nice long-term sour.
Ghost guy.
Yeah, Degard or
that's good because that's a good one to hit over a long period of time.
Right.
Like a 750 of sour beer is like
bingo.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Over an hour and a half or so, or 2 hours.
Yeah.
Or 3 hours if you're watching King Kong.
Okay, so let's actually back up there. You've done movie nights from a brewery where they give you the beer and tell you to drink this beer at this specific point in the movie.
Drink this
Wasn't
beer?
that with Star Wars?
That was at OMSI.
I thought during COVID you picked up something where you're supposed to watch a movie with a bunch of flights of beers that you were supposed to drink during the movie.
That's right. That was
Stormbreaker.
Stormbreaker did that with them. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a better memory of my life than I do, Marcus. Damn.
And you know what? Your life is so much better than mine. That's why I remember it. We got some Juice Junior.
Yeah, fresh.
Right on.
Like this was canned within like a week and a half.
Did you get the West Coast Ripe that just came out too?
No.
They did a West Coast version of Ripe.
No.
Ooh.
I was curious about how that would taste compared to the one we brewed too, because that's
Bet if you ordered on the app, you got yourself a special character.
That's about the same color as the three-way I just had, the Kolsch.
Yeah.
Not much different.
Similar.
But this was like one of the original hazies.
That used to be my favorite hazy of all time.
Yeah.
It's still really good,
yeah.
man. It's still really good.
Well, it wasn't good for a while, but the last time I had it on tap, it was very good again, and I haven't had it in a can for a while.
This one's really good.
You know what I mean?
Scaling issues? Is that right? Isn't that the term? Scaling issues, TM.
Maybe in 2020. Jeez, will you get with the times?
Okay.
Old man.
Well, right, yeah, but then they got used to it.
Next one. Favorite beer to drink? Oh, my last one, by the way, for cooking or watching movie, TV, IPA.
IPA.
Camping is our next category. What's your favorite beer to drink while camping?
Well, we know Jim's is a stovepipe from Deschutes. So moving on.
No, that is my wife's favorite beer while she's trying to mask her broken leg.
Your wife's favorite beer while breaking her ankle or leg or whatever.
Yeah, it was the leg.
Ankle
but
leg.
she is out of the boot and everything's healing well. We had an appointment earlier this week. While camping, probably IPA.
Yeah?
It's
an outdoorsy beer.
And like I'm thinking like not like during the day, like if you're like out in the kayak or whatever and it's hot, that's a lager. But I'm thinking like you're back at the camp, it's sun's going down, you have yourself a fire going. That's fucking IPA season right there.
Well, an IPA, when you're camping, you're out in the woods and all that piney, it fits. All the
it's in the air already.
The flavor
baby.
profiles of IPA represent camping. I mean, it's all like one. It's one thing, in my opinion. I mean, so my answer is IPA. If you weren't gonna guess,
was that shroom laced beer?
Ooh,
we're all one.
That's the next one. Marcus, you're just rolling your eyes down there. You look like you're on the Brady Bunch at the beginning where they're all looking at each other in little panels.
Do I?
Yeah.
I'm just scrolling back between the two of you.
Eyes are darting back and forth.
I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I'm a big camper because I used to camp all the time as a kid, and parents didn't feed me a lot of alcohol for that.
Well, all right, let me.
The last time I camped, the last time I did any camping, serious camping, was backpacking. And in backpacking, you don't want superfluous weight like beer to be weighing you down. So we brought spirits. That's what I drank.
Well, I was we can modify this and say like fishing trips, any outdoor long-term outdoor activity. The last time I went
camping, I wasn't of age to drink.
Wow.
So I haven't ever experienced camping and drinking beer.
Ever. I just caught beef winking at Beth.
Yeah, you did.
He just winked at his wife.
Yeah, she came walking in with no boot on.
Oh, that is hot.
Nice.
Right?
You are rock right now.
I saw both ankles.
Oh, my God. We need to end this right now. Do we need to pick this up a little bit later?
There's some communities where that is massively boner material.
So I don't know what I would have is the answer because it's been insanely long since Rebecca doesn't like camping. I used to camp all the time. Rebecca doesn't like camping, so I gave up camping.
Yeah.
Now, and I haven't camped in the
same position
in decades. I haven't camped in decades.
I think the last time I was camping was at least 10 years ago, maybe 15, and I had my two dogs with me, and one of them was in the far back seat, Mo. I don't think either of you guys wouldn't know Mo. He was a big 150-pound Mastiff. And as we were driving down this dirt road going to the campsite, there was a car behind me, and Mo stands up, and he starts taking a dump, and he's shooting the shit in the view of the cars behind me. And I could just see them laughing and laughing and laughing as they're watching shit falling out of his butt while I'm driving my car, just yelling at my dog to stop shitting in the back of my car.
Which isn't going to happen.
Right. Nope, didn't stop.
And so then they laughed harder when they saw your windows roll down because of the smell.
Right.
and the gagging, the Jim Carrey gagging motion.
Yep, it was awful. So, and my answer is IPA.
Fucking IPA. God damn it.
Favorite? Did we cover everybody on that one? Camping?
Yeah.
All right. Favorite beer to drink while playing a sport. while you're actually playing a sport, not watching one live or in person, but while you're playing. So that could be any sport. It could be hatchet throwing. It could be playing baseball with your buddies. It could be anything. 3-on-3 on the court. Whatever.
This one's easy.
Yeah?
This one's easy. We're all big sports guys. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm real athletic.
Michelob Ultra.
You're no longer invited on this craft beer podcast.
All right, I got one.
Yeah, go for it.
But I don't know that's my favorite, but it's nostalgic. When I started playing golf with a long time ago, I was playing with some good old boys for a while, and the only beers that were craft that were available were like Deschutes, Mirror Pond, and Rogue Dead Guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I went with Dead Guy because I just preferred it at the time. And so I don't know how many Dead Guy soldiers I killed on golf courses, but it was quite a few.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I would say Dead Guy playing golf with the good old boys at the local weed factory. Like that's because it was cheap.
Factory.
Yeah,
That's what we would. Yeah.
yeah. I was thinking at first, like, oh God, the last time I played any sports was probably in college when I'd go play basketball with my buddies and we'd go drink Rainier afterwards. But then I realized you said golf. I'm like, oh God, I've golfed. And so back to IPA.
I mean, now it would be IPA.
The little cart would come around and IPA.
No, actually, I wouldn't get an IPA from a cart.
No, I did.
I've made that mistake too many times.
And it's always the malty sweet IPA.
They're ancient and they're ancient.
Ancient.
They're only put in ice. So
ancient
Jim,
from
IPA,
Ancestry
Coming
Brewing.
into their prime.
playing
baby.
golf. Jim playing golf. IPA. That's every time you're ordering that. Normally they're like dated like 6 months old and they've only been in the ice as long as the person's been in the cart, trying like they've been stored warm. It's not a good choice on the cart.
Back in
On
the
the golf
shed.
course, go lager every day, all day. Don't choose anything else. Anything else is going to be bad.
Oh, and hey, Marcus, if you happen to golf this year and you go to McKay Creek for any reason to golf, our mutual friend who introduced us, his son is working there right now.
Oh, right. Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah, okay. Favorite beer to drink while...
Wait.
Yep. Oh, did we not hit you? Did we not
I
hit
didn't get to
you?
answer that.
Oh, sorry.
I have a nostalgic answer as well, thinking back to golf.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Yingling Amber Lager.
Nice.
Yeah.
While playing...
While playing 18
Mm-hmm.
at White Deer Golf Course in South
Oh,
Williamsport.
that sounds fantastic. Can we sign us up? Let's go. Let's all go.
Fit 54 holes of championship golf.
Oh, and championship beer to go along with it.
There you go.
We always played the challenge course because I was the only one that had tee times available.
Because you needed a challenge.
Right. We definitely needed that challenge.
That's hilarious.
Challenge again, 12 beers down in 18 holes.
That is a challenge.
I can
Unless
do
it's a foursome, then that's easy.
Well, or 18 holes at a par 3. So...
Yeah.
They also had a par 3 course too.
Yeah, out in Lake Oswego,
gosh.
there's an 18-hole par 3 course. It's awesome, right next to the cemetery.
Oh shit, 18. Theirs was
That
only
sounds
9.
like the mecca where beer and golf collide. It's right there at White Deer.
Right next to the prison.
Oh, man, even better.
Favorite beer to drink while playing cards or a board game with your friends and or family?
IPA.
For me,
Slightly higher alcohol.
For me, it's
like
IPA.
7%.
It's bigger. Yeah, for me too.
For me, it's IPA if it's with people that I want to keep playing with, or if I want the game to end quickly, I will break into a barrel
Barley
aged
wine.
just so I can drink too much and get out of it.
Why? This is another one. Rebecca doesn't like board games, card games, so I
Oh,
never
wow.
play them. So the last time I played, I think the last time I played one was with you, Sean.
Yeah.
At like a Dark Arts at the beach house.
Yeah. Games are real big in our house here.
Yeah. So I was probably splitting some sort of big IPA or barrel aged beer or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but I'm in agreement. Like something higher alcohol sounds good for that. Like
Yeah.
you just sip on and
Yeah. Just get through the night.
yeah.
Favorite beer to drink while at a party with family, and this is a two-parter: a party with family or a party with friends. So it could vary depending on the environment of the party. Is it a family get-together or is it a friendly get-together?
With family, I'm staying super sober. so it's going to be low alcohol.
With
Like-
family, I'm getting super
like
drunk.
NA beer.
Well, no. I mean, my family's just pretty, they're kind of conservative when it comes to that.
Sure.
They have their drink and they're done. And so, I've never been anywhere close to intoxicated around my family, and I
Yeah.
keep it that way. Just
So are you like Walter White to them?
yes, absolutely. Without the hundreds of millions of dollars buried under my house, yes, I'm
80
Walter White.
$80 million and 7 bodies.
Yes.
Oh God, 15 bodies.
Correct. If you let that IPA sit around long enough, it'll turn blue, and that's the selling point.
Then you break it up,
Nice.
break it up,
Nicely
and
done.
distribute.
The wife and I just finished her first watch through last night.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
really?
Yeah.
What did she like it?
Oh yeah. Yep. Very much enjoyed it.
That is the last TV show that I started and completed.
Oh my god.
Was Breaking Bad.
So you're not
So
gonna.
that stopped in what, 2013 or something?
Something like that. Yeah. Thank goodness The Wire came out before that, and you've seen all of that.
Oh God, I couldn't put that down.
Come on, man. Just for 1 month, get Disney Plus and just binge The Mandalorian.
We have it right now.
Binge The Mandalorian. Just do
We
it.
have it right now. I could watch it.
Do it.
Rebecca said the other day that I don't know why we have it, but we have it right now.
Oh, maybe because of your phone contract.
I heard Andor is not bad either.
Andor is different. Andor is it takes off it's different. It's not your typical Star Wars vibe. Like there's
That's
like
probably good.
there's romance and relationships, and it was weird for me. But if you watch that, Rogue One, and then Episode 4, it all makes sense. So
Is that why you watched episode 4 the other day?
I will watch Episode 4 all the time.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen I saw that movie 15 times in the theater when I was a kid,
Right.
and I can't even count how many times I've seen it total. I mean,
Right. Let's talk about your inability to count a little bit more.
I can only count to 4. I can only
I can
count
only
to 4.
count to 4.
Apparently.
I can only count to 4.
1, 2, 3, 5. Oh, I love that song. Okay, so for me, at a party, if it's family, I'm gonna go barrel aged, and I'm just gonna sip all night and try to tolerate.
By the way, are we speaking more about how we deal with our families more than the beer at this point?
I think
feel like this is a psychological.
I think it's
test.
coming out, right? I think it's coming out. If
Yeah,
I'm
I
with my
think so.
with friends, it's gonna be pilsners and IPAs. I'm probably switching back and forth
Mm.
if I
With,
can.
with friends, it's just going to be whatever we break out. I think for
Right,
me,
whatever. Yeah, whatever.
I mean,
Whoever brought
it
what.
doesn't really matter. Yeah.
Whoever brought what.
For me with family, there's enough of my family that are willing to try beers that I'll be like, all right, these people are going to be here and they typically like this. So I might try to grab like a 6-pack of that or a bomber of that.
Yeah.
And same thing with friends. Like we could chug lagers all night, or we could pop a
All right.
big bee whiz.
So Sean and I show up unannounced as we usually do.
Mhm.
Just always dropping in at beefs.
What do you? Yeah, all the time. What are you busting out for us?
Oh my God, you've seen his fridge, right? His beer fridge.
I know what's in there.
Oh my
well,
God.
I mean, I have a vague idea of what's in there.
It's the holy grail of beer fridges.
A liter of Maja.
Oh my God! All right, we're gonna be there a while. This is an all-day football event.
That's when your host doesn't want you to leave.
No, I don't know. Maybe a both of you. See, that's interesting. I'd probably have to keep it either Imperial Stout or barrel aged barley wine.
Yep.
I think
You'd
I
have
have.
to.
Yeah, I'd have to.
All right. Let's next
I can live with that.
next category: favorite beer to drink while traveling. And what I mean, like you've flown to an area you've never been there before. It's a new experience, or maybe it's a place far away, but you've been there several times. Just something outside of your comfort zone. You're traveling. What are you gonna look for to drink?
Whatever's local. I'm gonna try to find something local. If there's not, probably a lager. Light lager.
Yeah. Even if
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like it's not going to be very good.
I would
Like-
still try it once.
Like for example, like I go to Cabo and we there's 2 or 3 breweries down there. I always go to them. I know they're not going to be very good, but
I would try something new.
Why do you keep going back to them then?
Because it's better than just drinking Pacifico for 2 weeks straight.
Right. And it's a place to go.
It's a
Sounds
break.
like you just need to buy more sticks,
and
then you'll be good with the Pacifico.
And the
It
environments,
kinda is, yeah.
the environments are great. Like the beers aren't always very good, but the environments are fantastic. There's always a fun vibe.
There's a lot of McMinimans down there.
Kind of. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Los McMinimos. Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably try something new, or just go with an old staple lager. It'd be one or the other.
Yeah.
I feel like I would try something local too, just to try it, but likely I would end up with some sort of just domestic lager.
Yeah.
Whether if it's
Probably
Mexico,
owned by
it'd be Mexican
AB.
lager. America, it'd be I don't know, something.
Yeah.
Probably a
Owned by
Mexican
InBev,
lager.
of course.
Probably
Yeah.
a Mexican
Yeah.
lager in America too.
Well, like, when I went to Costa Rica, it was Imperial, which that's like the only beer you could almost find down there, which was
you
a lot.
shotgunned one of those, didn't you?
Oh yeah, which was a lot like. I mean, it's really like a lot like Pacifico and all that stuff. It's just the the light lagers. But this next trip we're planning, we're leaving here in a couple weeks, and I'm going to be smuggling down some sticky hands and probably some other stuff to take with me. And I not so much for
Really?
me. Some of it's going to be for me, but I also want to, like the driver that we always use when we go down there, I want to give him some beer because he likes beer and he's never had any American craft beer. And
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah,
That's great.
And the last time I met with my buddy down there who worked at the resort we used to go to, I invited him over for a night, and I brought down a whole bunch of like barrel aged stouts because he told me how he likes dark beer, and I said, "Oh, let me rock your world." So, yeah, but
You gave him some 2013 Abyss and what else?
pretty close. Hey, you ever sucked on a penny? Try this.
Hey, you.
Some Crux Tough Love.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's one I absolutely love.
I could tell.
The head shake is happening. Final one, favorite beer to drink while gaming. Marcus, this is for you.
Oh, that's easy. I mean, nowadays, that's called bourbon.
Bourbon beer, I love that.
Yeah, I drink bourbon when I'm gaming.
So you're just sipping on some bourbon.
Well, but there's a good reason for it. One is, you're right, is that games are much more engaging, so you have less opportunities to drink. So a bourbon works great for like a sip every 5-10 minutes. Whereas
Going from one world into the next.
Whereas a beer would take me an hour plus to like kill a beer, which is fine, but it gets warm, like you said, and it's like I don't want to have a
Restroom
sip
breaks.
forever.
You're gonna have more restroom
breaks aren't
breaks with
usually a
beer.
problem. But yeah, but
You're not gaming as long as I am, then, buddy.
yeah. Well, you mean your legs aren't numb?
No, you gotta
What a
grind through
noob.
those Madden years.
Right. So I actually don't drink a whole lot of beer. Now that I have actually IPA on tap again, I'll probably go IPA.
Yeah.
Whatever's on tap is what I would actually say.
Whatever
is-
you have on tap at your house.
Yeah, and since I haven't had things on tap the last 6 months, I've been drinking bourbon. But yeah, with this IPA on tap, I'll drink this quite a bit. Yeah.
Beef, are you a gamer? You're kind of a gamer, yeah?
I game. I have one game I play.
Yeah.
He is a game.
Yeah, I am game.
Yeah.
Why am I game?
Because he loves big corporate
game
entities that make video games. Go ahead.
That innovate every year, so you have to buy the new one.
He likes the big beer.
I'm gonna go with steamed hams lager. I just something light so I can keep my faculties with me.
Are you going to be upset if they don't make that a staple beer?
Oh, I know they won't, but that's all right. I'm contemplating whether I want to drink all of mine or if I want to leave one unopened and
for a while.
Keep it as a token.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I have a bottle of beer from the 90s when the Oregon Ducks won the Rose Bowl. And
you mean when they lost the Rose Bowl to Penn State?
Is that
1995?
I'll have to look at what it was. But it's
they definitely lost in 1995.
Is
that what it was?
Same beer.
Yeah.
I found that same beer for sale at McMiniman's UFO Fest in 2016.
Uh-huh.
And I then gave it to my dad, and now he has it on display in his basement.
But this is all Ducks, so it might have been the year we won. because it was a total duck
like
bottle.
Green and like a yellow and yellow star. And like
I'll show it to you next time you come over. And the funny thing is, I looked at it and half the beer was gone inside, even though it's capped. So it's just been evaporating over the years.
The rest before it's gone.
Yeah, I'm sure it's delicious.
That means it's all liquor.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's left is the liquor. That definitely has a very high evaporation point and not the water.
Oh, gross.
Liquor? I didn't even know her.
Oh, that's a good one. So let's talk about some...
I don't got no sun.
Ain't no sunshine when I'm gone. Nopo has lost... No. God damn. My brain... I think I still have some of the... when I had my surgery, what's the stuff?
You still have some anesthesia
there you go. I think I still got some going on in my brain.
Okay.
Pono Brewing Labs is closing down. Pono Brewing itself is not closing, but the space that they went into, remember Columbia River Brewing over there off of Sandy?
Yes.
In the Hollywood district? They're shutting down, so that space is going to be available again to brew Marcus.
Nope. I don't want that equipment.
No. And I think that location might be a little cursed. I don't know.
Did you ever go there?
I never went to it when it was Pono, but it was Laurelwood first, then it was Columbia, and now it's Pono, right?
Yeah, we went there a bunch of times, a handful of times when it was Columbia.
Columbia, yeah, that was like when I first became a beer blogger. That was the first place I ever went to write a review and met the owners, and they were super cool. They got in a little trouble in the brewing industry, but yeah, we went there quite a bit, and but I never went there when it became Pono. But they're shutting down, just not getting any draw, which I just think it's in kind of a weird location.
It's tough, yeah.
I mean, you got a built-in neighborhood, but for whatever reason, it just doesn't draw them in. So.
Well, I mean, as you always love to say, the parking situation was always bad there.
Yeah,
it was bad though. It really was. It's like it's super busy, but there's like, where do you go to get to this nice restaurant?
There's a teeny tiny little lot right behind it, but it's not enough to sustain any real audience there. So yeah, I guess I should write them a letter. It might have fixed things, but
it would have. Maybe you should have blogged about them ultimately.
Yeah. Another sad closure, Hammer and Stitches going away or is already gone. And that's a place I never got to try. And they were supposed to actually, I heard good things about them. Have either of you tried Hammer and Stitch before they left? No?
Nope.
Yep. They're down in the industrial area, I believe. It was one of those places where I kept saying, I need to go there. I need to go check this place out. And I never got a chance. And now they're gone. So not going to happen.
Unfortunately, they got their opening delayed until basically right when COVID hit, and then they just. I mean, that's a really horrible time trying to get your brewery up and running.
Literally the worst.
Yeah. You can't get any traction going. You can't build an audience. So.
Yeah, I hear it's a nice place, and I think it also comes with the full brew house and all that kind of stuff.
That's for sale as a turnkey. So.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, Jim, if you want to get into it.
You know what I'd love to see?
The world can't handle my beer, Marcus. Portland can't handle my beer.
I'd love to see a good Seattle brewery come down and buy something in Portland and establish some footing down here. Fremont. Rubens or Fremont?
Fremont.
Yeah.
Or Holy Mountain.
Yeah, that'd be great too.
Cloudburst.
Okay, yeah.
Skookum.
He's just going to list every Seattle Washington brewery.
No, I think I'm done there.
I don't think I've ever had Skookum. Unless I've been at a beer fest.
I feel like I've maybe heard good things, but I don't think I've had anything.
Maybe it'll be the next three-way. It's always a Washington brewery, so you never know.
Always?
Isn't it?
Dwindle
not this year, no.
Not this year.
Not this year. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah, they jumped up to Alaska, those bastards.
Yeah, they went Cali in Alaska.
Yeah,
right?
They broke tradition.
Well, for a while we thought they always did an Oregon brewery too, but they kind of abandoned that.
Yeah,
I think
there are no rules to three-way now.
Well, there's like
there is a rule to three-way. There can't be four.
There
there can't be two.
There's like seven Oregon breweries, and when you're one of them, then you have 6 years, and then you got to move on to other states.
And is Alaska technically a West Coast state? I mean, they're not in the Pacific.
So yes, I think so. Right
there, you go.
I've definitely seen Russia from the Oregon coast. So yes.
Oh my God. Anchor Brewing. Who posted this? This is disturbing news.
I did.
Yeah, talk about it.
Well, it's interesting. Yeah, it's kind of. Why do you think it's disturbing, Sean?
Because
Well,
every
okay,
year, every year I get their Christmas
ahead.
beer.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every year.
So yeah, unfortunately, Anchor Brewing, which is kind of one of the bedrocks of craft brewing, right?
Yeah.
They've been around
Mm-hmm.
forever, right?
Yeah. Long time.
They have completely halted national distribution of their beers. You will never, well, at least for now, you will not see an Anchor beer on the shelf again, period, going forward.
Did they
That they're
state
just-
why?
They said-
Sapporo, Sapporo
say?
decided to cease production.
Well, they also said that they're selling 70% of their beer in state in California,
Yeah.
and they're only getting 30% of sales elsewhere. And so they're just
Oh,
suffering
shit.
from beer just sitting on the shelf. What?
This says that they're not going to make their Christmas ale anymore.
Exactly.
And
They've
not
also
gonna,
halted
yeah.
the Christmas sale, so it's not going
Jesus.
to exist, period. You
That's-
can't
Yeah,
get
and
it.
they're not going outside of California anymore. That
Right.
really fucking sucks.
But you know what? That's not surprising because look at all the breweries that just. I mean, there's so many breweries now. So
Yeah.
why would you spend so much money to export your beer to a different state if you're not going to be able to compete? I mean, we saw it with Midnight Sun. They're not sending anything down anymore, and they make fantastic stouts and
Yeah.
fantastic barley wine. So,
Yeah.
but they said, we can't keep sending stuff down there if it's not going to sell because there's too much competition. So, I mean, I get it. We don't see as much Firestone Walker up here anymore. We don't see Green Flash. Well, does the Green Flash exist anymore? Yeah, they still exist.
No.
They don't exist.
I don't think
stopped?
so.
Oh, I thought they did. We just don't see it. But there's just a lot of those old breweries that used to see tons of shit, and you're not seeing it anymore because why would they spend all that time and money to get their stuff up here when there's so much stuff up here locally that we drink, and vice versa.
Yeah, and as we've talked about, like craft beer is so hyper local. It's tough to make a dent anymore,
Mhm.
especially if you just can't pour, a lot of marketing dollars into hype and get people to buy into you. Like I don't know how you make a dent in big markets anymore. It's like we've seen this in the past, with like Deschutes withdrawing out of Roanoke on the East Coast. It's like, oh yeah, they kind of saw it coming, I think, a little bit, and made a smart move by not investing in a brewery out there. And I think it's tough with craft beer now. Like everybody just wants to buy local for craft, and it's.
And then
I think the new wave is. We'll talk about this, but I think a little bit more because there's another story on this. But I think the new wave is going to be direct ship to customers for like out of state.
Oh, right.
I think that's happening more and more, and it's going to continue to happen more and more.
Even with the cost of that to do that.
It seems to be tenable. I mean, Great Notion's shipping to like how many states? 20 plus states now?
Yeah, but
direct to consumer.
Great Notion's in that like high trade value beer.
I was gonna say it's gonna be a specific type or number of breweries that are able to hit this threshold that are making beer that's quote unquote good enough to do that with.
Yeah, because
or to pay that premium.
If Migration came out and said, "Hey, we're going to ship our beer to anybody who wants it," how much beers do you think is going to get shipped out of state? I mean, I'm not trying to shit on Migration, but they're very.
You definitely need that hype for sure.
Great Notion has
Great Notion has hype. But isn't that essentially just beer evolution?
Yes and no.
I mean, it's survival of the fittest, right?
But migration could sit around.
To this we're moving towards this model where anything can be shipped to your doorstep.
Yeah, but migration's probably going to be around for a while. They make a decent level of beer that the locals like, but I don't think anything outside of Portland is ever going to give a shit about migration. Whereas Great Notion has hype and they have high trade value, so people in wherever outside of Oregon are going to go, oh hell yeah, get me a Great Notion. I heard that shit's great.
I think it depends on what the goals are of the brewery. It might be that migration's totally fine being just a local pub type of thing, and that they're known basically in the Portland metropolitan area, and that's good. And Great Notion clearly wants to be a national brand, and they want to make money, and they clearly want to make big money. I mean, this is a money endeavor for them, and so they're trying to market and push into that, and they've done a good job of that.
Is Great Notion going to they want to be the next Bourbon County stout kind of
sure
place?
They would, yeah.
Oh,
I'm sure they. Oh yeah,
no
for
doubt.
sure.
Yeah, that's what they're heading for.
Or like Heady Topper,
right?
Like both of those combined.
I see them as like the toppling Goliath of the West Coast.
Damn it, beat me to it.
There you go.
And that's who Chad needs to brew with next.
Toppling Goliath.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's in the works. I mean, if we've thought of it, he's definitely thought of it.
I hear he's holding out for a management position.
Oh my god.
He always wanted to be Mr. Manager.
Mr. Manager.
There's always money in the banana stand.
Well, let's get into that next article then. Get ready for all the Washington beer at your doorstep, because that's pretty related to what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, because we talked about this a few episodes ago about how
he's a hype man.
Yeah. We talked about this a few episodes ago about how Oregon breweries are able to ship direct to customers, to a doorstep in Washington, but Washington breweries weren't able to do the same to Oregon.
We talked about this when Washington filed the lawsuit about this, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. And so they were talking about how litigation could last years. Nope. OLCC made a deal with them, I guess about a month or so ago, and you can now get if the brewery is willing to do it. Any brewery that is willing to ship beer to your doorstep from Washington, you can get now. So I don't know if Fremont's doing it, but you might be able to get, their barrel-aged beer shipped to your doorstep, next year and then right now, I don't know. Or Reuben's. I'm not sure which breweries are participating, but now, and if Oregon's allowing that from Washington, I imagine you can do that pretty much anywhere in the country. Or if it hasn't happened yet, it will happen.
Well, you got to watch out for some of those.
It's going to open.
Precedents.
There's certain states. I think there's probably certain states where it's going to be
certain
harder.
States have weird liquor laws. Yeah, right.
Just based on their.
Every state has a weird liquor law.
I mean, you can't even drink Jack Daniels in the county where Jack Daniels is made. So
right, exactly.
Yeah,
not
legally. You can't.
Right.
The South being the worst perpetrator of this. Yes.
Yeah. But we have precedents here, and I think you're just going to see more of that happen because if the model is cost effective, which Washington breweries clearly wanted it to happen, even in a saturated market like Oregon, that must be an effective cost model.
So what breweries in Washington aren't getting shipped to Oregon that they think they're going to make a difference? Because we get a lot of Washington breweries beer down here. So
but not shipped to your house.
Right. And also maybe it's also the idea that you can join a raffle and then get it shipped directly to your house.
Right. You've also removed
special releases,
$5K or whatever.
Special releases.
Think about this too. You've removed the distributor from the cost model. So if you just apply that to the shipping costs to direct to customer, it's maybe the brewery is actually ending up in a positive by not having to use a distributor.
Yeah.
There it is. Even with those individual shipping costs.
Well, and they're passing that on to the customers anyways.
They pass that on,
Or it's close enough, they offer a flat rate or something, and it's that's good enough for us. We're still making our money by doing this. And we're getting marketing by getting our beer out of state more. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I think you're going to see more and more of those options available. Maybe I don't know.
I don't know. Crux is coming to Portland. Did we talk about this once before?
We did. Well, not just that they opened. They're here now.
It's actually up and open. Where is this place again? Is it? Let me guess. Southeast Portland.
It is at. Where did I have this friggin' article at?
I don't know.
Somewhere. It's somewhere. That's for sure.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
You gonna make a run to go out and check it out?
Southeast 8th.
There you go.
Thank
Southeast you. Portland. Yep. I don't know what the draw is.
2715 Southeast 8th. I feel like they're another brewery. What is it with Bend and breweries only having one yeast that they're willing to use?
I don't know.
That's a Central Oregon thing.
It just feels like both Crux and Deschutes do that. I'm way talking over my head right here, but it feels like that.
Yeah, they got to use a different yeast for their lagers, right?
Nope. just do it cold. We'll do it cold.
We've talked about Crux a million times, and I don't get it, but obviously they have their fans, and that's fine. If you like that beer, great. It's all like art. It's individual, but I don't understand the appeal.
Maybe getting some stuff on tap that you can't get via distribution would be interesting.
The only appeal Crux ever had for me was just their outdoor setting. They have a beautiful place to go and drink the beer. It's fantastic. It's hard to beat. But the beer itself never did anything
this weekend. I'm going to be there this weekend for a brewery run.
There you go.
Are you road trip? You're going to day trip there? Okay.
Yep. Last weekend we were in Ashland, so why not?
Yeah, but you didn't day trip to Ashland.
No, we didn't day trip. No, but
how have you not
day tripping to Bend, or are you going to be there for the weekend?
No, we are.
How have you not brought any Shakespeare to this podcast?
Because watching Princess Bride with a full orchestra was much more fun.
Oh wow,
and memorable.
Nice. Yeah.
How could it not be? Yeah.
Next article: are hops the indicator that the craft beer boom is over? I don't even get that sentence. But what are we talking about here?
What's not to understand?
Because I don't speak English, Marcus.
UC Davis.
Yeah, UC Davis.
What's
going
on
with that?
Just the total hop yield has gone down.
Well, yeah, they're basically saying that there's a ton of hops now in storage that are available that are not being consumed as much, and for the first time in like over 10 years, they're planting less hop fields than they used to.
Attention, Bud Light. You want to get ahead of the game.
So the article was talking about how this is potentially an indicator that craft beer is starting to, like, interest in craft beer is dwindling and that the market's going down. And I'm like, or
they planted too much.
Is it an indication that people just want more and more smoothie beer? Because you don't need fucking hops for that shit.
But well, did they overplant? I mean, was there just too much hops? And I mean, are the same amount of hops being consumed and they just had an overflow, or is there just
that bingo shit's good one?
Yeah.
Well, the fact that they I think it's probably both. I mean, they overplanted, and then stores have risen over time as a result of that, and so now they're reducing it to match demand. But I mean, it was interesting because I think the actual overall sales of hops have actually dwindled a little bit as well. Like, breweries are ordering less hops in the last couple of years.
Is that because they're doing less IPAs and hoppy beers? More Pilsner?
That's what I was thinking, because
fair too.
I think you have to look at volume sales versus the
rise of lagers and
right now. Yeah, exactly. The lagers use a fraction of the hops of an IPA, right?
Yeah,
or seltzer. Like, are people like switching a little bit?
And actually, I'm not. I mean, I made a joke, but I'm not.
Although those sales are going way down.
Yeah.
I made a joke, but fruited IPAs, smoothies IPAs, or just fruited IPAs, or New England. Those some New England IPAs. Some use a shit ton of hops, but some of those basically use no hops as well. You know, and there's smoothie beers, they don't really use any hops.
Yeah. I don't know if this is a lull in craft beer or just a lull in hoppy beer at the moment, which, we've always seen that fluctuate. So,
yeah, I don't know that's a huge indicator that, like, craft beer is, that's what he's trying to associate. Is this a downturn for craft beer? And it's like, I don't really think so. I don't think that's a real indicator. It might be a shift in preference to some degree.
Right.
Yeah, it feels more like that.
Yeah.
Like there's give it like 2 or 3 more years and we'll see what happens. But yeah, it feels like it's just maybe the market shaking out too.
We used our share of hops 2 weeks ago, fellas. That's for sure. We used over 2 pounds of hops for that IPA.
And it worked.
Oh yeah.
It worked.
Yeah. Why'd you hold back?
Yeah.
Damn it.
Why didn't we use 4 pounds, Marcus?
Too good, 4 better.
I didn't feel the hop burn yet. I need more hops.
Oh my God.
That's actually a very good point. Is there was no hop burn with yours?
Yeah.
No,
there was no hop
and
burn.
it's 2 weeks, so it's super fresh.
It still sat on the tongue though, which was good. So
Yeah.
Good point.
It was in it for being the first day in a keg. Basically, it was in a good place for sure.
Awesome. Well, that's episode 95 of the Portland Beer Club podcast, your online bottle share. And we'll be back in July, probably late July, because I'm going to be down in Mexico till, well, it probably won't make much of a dent in our timing. So what do you guys got coming up? Anything fun? It's summertime, but we all have jobs, so.
Well, yeah, no. Maybe I'll try and brew again, since, that first one was a lot of fun. It'd be good to do it again. I think.
Oh, I thought that brewing was done. That brewing was done because you weren't going to be able to brew for a while. You're going to be open.
It is. Yeah. I don't know if it'll be. I'll be able to in the next month. But you said like summertime.
Oh, gotcha.
Maybe like, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm always up for it if my wife lets me.
Me too.
All right, well, guys, it's always a fantastic part of my life to be able to sit down with you and talk about beer and beer related things. And
it's a part of my life.
Sorry, Jason, topics and all that, and because we love beer. Who doesn't love beer? I can think of several people right now, but I don't want to mention their names.
Let's list them off. There's Alex and Andrew
and Chad.
Fabio.
Not that Chad. The other Chad.
That's another episode of the Portland Beer Club podcast. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Untapped, and check out our website at www.portlandbeerclubpodcast.com.